Some of Farrakhan's greatest supporters come from revolutionary Islamic countries.
Brothers and sisters, it is with great honor and privilege that I present to you the leader of the Al-Fatah revolution from Libya, our brother Muammar al-Gaddafi.
Libya's Muammar Gaddafi appeared via satellite at a 1985 Nation of Islam convention. Libya has loaned the sect $5 million in economic aid. Aides to Farrakhan say he was in Libya last April when the U.S. was bombing Libyan military positions. And it was Farrakhan's connections to Syria that helped Jesse Jackson win the 1983 release of a Navy lieutenant captured there. Despite all the attention, Farrakhan's followers only number about 20,000, far fewer than mainstream black Islamic groups. One of the most popular Afro-American Muslim leaders in the U.S. is the son of Elijah Muhammad. He lives here in Chicago. His name is Warith Deen Muhammad, a man who emphasizes conservative lifestyle, community pride, and cooperation between the races. Warith Deen Muhammad has long criticized Louis Farrakhan's unorthodox and ultra-political view of Islam. But in the past several months, Farrakhan has moderated his rhetoric. This warm reunion with Warith Deen last year could mark a reacceptance of Farrakhan and his Nation of Islam into the mainstream Muslim world.
Islam is more important to us than our divisions.
Still, Farrakhan's heart continues to be with the black American struggle. Louis Farrakhan wants black power under the Islamic banner, but he wants to achieve that in a uniquely American way. He's formed an Amway-style company to sell black-produced products to the black community. Detroit is one of 4 trial sites for the sales effort. Shampoos, soaps, and healthcare products are being sold door to door and on the streets under the name Clean and Fresh. The goal? To keep black dollars circulating among blacks.
Okay, I probably would be willing to try a shampoo.
The product really sells itself. So it's sales, they were slow at first, but just word of mouth alone gets the product moving pretty good.
The Nation of Islam hopes to employ thousands of blacks as independent distributors of Clean and Fresh to cut into unemployment.
The family, you could get 5 pieces for $17.75.
This man not only made a purchase, but perked up at the mention of potential income.
My biggest job is doing nothing. You know, that's my job, doing nothing. So, I mean, this would be an opportunity for me to do something and make some money.
I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is a messenger of Allah. Right?
Yes, sir.
But there's another motive besides jobs. The Nation of Islam plans to plow profits into Muslim schools to teach children about Islamic law and about self-respect.
I say to you this afternoon that I would rather down the highways of Alabama than make a butchery of my conscience.
Self-respect was a key to Martin Luther King's civil rights movement during the 60s. Sometimes a security man named Theodore Manuel marched alongside him. Manuel was with King when the civil rights leader was assassinated in 1968. Manuel's picture made the front page when he was beaten by police later that fateful night. Today, Theodore Manuel is a Highland Park Muslim leader named Talib Karim. He's a national board member of the Nation of Islam. Karim's politics and goals have evolved since the 60s. Now he saves some of his anger for successful blacks.
They go to General Motors and get lost. They get the dollar bill and the greenback get in their eyes, the dollar sign get in their eyes. They forget about where they came from. They move out of the black community.
Talib Karim was schooled in Islamic law at King Abdulaziz University in Arabia. His mosque is home to the University of Islam, a K-12 school.
They've taken morality out. They've taken that out of the classrooms, you know.
The school has high academic standards, but the minister teaches history and political science in a way not found in the public school system.
See, slavery is a terrible thing, right? Yes. And then by people doing stuff to you, they had to justify that because they were doing it in the name of God. And they couldn't treat a human being like that, right? So they were saying, okay, these are not human beings. So the Japanese became gooks, right? And the Chinese became chinks, right? And the Vietnamese and all. See, they take away the manhood and take away the human being, and they ain't killing humans no more.
Self-respect is a major theme at the University of Islam.
All you used to see is bones in the nose and people half naked. dancing around, right? But they never taught you that you built the Sphinx and the pyramids in Egypt.
Talib Karim and thousands of other Muslim blacks argue there is a bond between the religion and the race. The faith was founded in Arabia and spread down Central and Western Africa. Slave ships brought millions of blacks to America, where, it is argued, their Islamic heritage was lost.
Islam is the nature of black people. So when Islam, black people are leaning toward righteousness, though we do a heck of a lot of wrong, because we've been in the hands of people who have taught us wrong.
In a few moments, the government's assault on the Nation of Islam. To get them, a Muslim mosque is raided in Chicago.
They're attempting to hide behind the First Amendment here.
The Muslim leader is jailed on racketeering charges.
We have not stolen anything on any individual or collective basis.
An Orthodox Muslim spends a decade in jail.
I've done 10 years for standing up for my faith.
And a Nation of Islam elder is still angry about his imprisonment 45 years ago.
I was arrested because I put my children in the Muslim school, and they arrested my wife, and my wife was pregnant with a child. She was in the prison for 7 months.
The brief history of Islam for blacks in America is filled with turbulence and controversy. Detroit is where it all began.
There is no one that needs help as great as the American so-called Negro.
This is where Elijah Muhammad founded Mosque Number 1 of the Nation of Islam in the early 30s. And Lansing is the home of Malcolm X, who made white America notice the bitterness of the black experience. The two leaders had a version of Islam which made them enemies of not only the federal government, but of mainstream Muslims too. The FBI viewed them as un-American, while some Orthodox Muslims violently opposed the Nation of Islam doctrine. Elijah Muhammad preached a bizarre and distorted view of Islam. He said the white man was a devil, even though the Quran prohibits racism. He claimed the Messiah had returned in July of 1930 to teach him the truth. And he predicted white America would be overthrown by the year 1970. Elijah Muhammad liked to talk of a giant circle in the sky, a space station that would launch an offensive against white America and help the black man to gain control and reign on earth. But Elijah Muhammad drew praise for teaching self-respect, discipline, and the work ethic to his followers. All in all, the Nation of Islam attracted tens of thousands of blacks, thirsty for hope and direction. The name Elijah Muhammad still commands respect.
He was saying, you are not nigger and colored folks and good for nothing and shiftless people. You are somebody. So he used the psychology and a teaching that reamed out the inferiority that had been built in slaves over the period of 400 years.
Elijah Muhammad's doctrines not only attracted a large Detroit following, but the attention of federal investigators. As with other organized black groups of the 40s and 50s, the government targeted the Nation of Islam for harassment. News 4 filed a Freedom of Information request with the FBI here in Washington to examine investigative documents spanning 4 decades. They reveal government efforts to humiliate black Muslims and their leaders. The documents show the FBI had contempt for Elijah Muhammad. The Secret Service classified him in one memo as a paranoid. In another document, he was called inferior, with his mental age indicated as 10 to 11 years old. In 1962, agents went a step further. They looked to destabilize the Nation of Islam. Documents show the FBI wanted to capitalize on Elijah Muhammad's alleged infidelity. Wrote one agent, the incident can be capitalized on to create dissension in the Nation of Islam. Another memo said, the information could be of possible use in exploiting the situation. Finally, agents suggested sending anonymous letters to Muslims, quote, handwritten on commercially purchased stationery without markings. Each letter should have minor variations, mailed at intervals. But government dirty tricks failed to slow an aggressive and successful recruiting effort.
I believe that it will be one Islam.
74-year-old Sheikh Sharif says he started 17 black mosques nationwide. Sharif claims a role in the Islamic conversion of boxing champ Muhammad Ali. He helped convert a calypso dancer named Louis Farrakhan and an imprisoned thief named Malcolm Little, better known as Malcolm X. Sharif has a defense.